Steve and Jill here.
Hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butella.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about what is title insurance.
Oh. We've all wondered that.
We have. And the further you get into your career, the more you wonder, do I really need this title insurance?
The more you read the exceptions, you wonder, what is title insurance?
We'll cover all that. And we promise to make this not boring.
All right.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on landinvestors.com. Online community. It's free.
Jeremy wrote, I'm working on gathering data and deciding where to send my first mailer. My plan is to mail 3 counties with 500 to 600 mailers per county for a total of 1,500 to 1,800 mailers going out.
So far, so good.
Right. However, I have a few questions that hopefully someone can help me with. A couple of counties I'm looking at have a large difference in population density from one part of the county to another part of the county. I thought about sorting by zip code, but the undeveloped land doesn't have a zip code or address assigned. How do I only send mail to the less densely populated portion of the county? How are you pricing counties that do not have a lot of data? I'm looking at several counties where the total number of properties in the county is less than 10,000. I know these counties fairly well, and I know who my end user is likely to be, hunters and timber investors. But with anywhere from 50 to 100 total listings on Land and Farm, I'm only seeing 5 to 10 properties on Land Watch and similar websites in the acreage range I'm looking at sending my mailers to. Do I just base my price off these listings, or is there another way people are pricing these areas? Are people just avoiding these counties due to such limited data? Lastly, has anyone had success with subdivision lots in Florida where there are infrastructure such as roads in place, but the subdivision is still considered rural in the outskirts of a city? I see a lot of these listed on Zillow, and several have sold on eBay for $1,500 to $2,000. However, at those prices, it seems like the profit margin is thin after you pay for the data, mailers, etc., even if you're buying at $300 a lot. Thank you for any guidance you can provide. So one of our members, Kevin, already piped in, so I'm going to read Kevin's answer here too. So Kevin Farrell wrote, Jeremy, all good questions.
Really good questions.
Yeah, I would not worry about population density differences within the county.
Neither would I.
Send mail to all the properties in the county that meet your criteria. For example, all the 10-acre vacant parcels.
Yep.
Some mail will go to the more expensive areas. No problem. If someone with more valuable land accepts your offer, then you get a better deal.
That's it.
Exactly. Price should be derived from the lowest comps in that county.
He's right again.
Yeah, I wonder where he learned it. That way, you won't have offers that are too high for the lowest value land. You can do the rural subdivision deals if you plan on doing some volume. You could try a few deals, see how they go, and then go back and buy all you can at a low price. And you're all right. The margins are thin. These have to be all cash deals, buying and selling. And this is a perfect discussion today with the title insurance.
This is a fantastic question by this person. I think their name's Jeremy. Mm-hmm. And I've said this many times on the show before. I'll say it again. You can tell when someone's going to do really well with this.
Yeah.
So that first mailer, there's a lot of angst, and he's asking a ton of questions. And believe me, you're not going to get it all right at the first mailer. You're just not. What applies, let's say, in Ohio doesn't apply in Florida. Mm-hmm. That's just how it is. So you got to kind of feel your way through it and get through it and get the response. But Kevin's right. The more mail you send out at the bottom for rural vacant land anyway, for the bottom pricing, comparison pricing, that's all you got to do. Mm-hmm. And then you'll forget about this, that you ever wrote this question, and you'll just be dealing with the inflow of signed offers and what happens. So great questions.
I like his strategy too, that you're thinking about areas that you already know who your buyers are. Like, thank you. That's half the battle. Like Stephen always says, we work it backwards. You're already thinking about who's going to buy it, What are they looking for? I know the area myself, probably better than anybody in this group. Now all I got to do is back into what am I pricing my offers at to get the results I want. That's perfect.
And lastly, you mentioned eBay. Jeremy, you mentioned eBay. And eBay is a good place to sell property. But here's how, in my opinion, how it goes in a fantastic manner on eBay. Somebody eventually is going to call you back on this mailer, and they're going to say, you know what? I've got 150 properties in this one area. I bought them like 6 years ago. I'm not going to do anything with them. You know, if you want to take them off my hands for a couple $100 each, that'd be fine. Tell me how you want to do the deal. So now you're $200 into a property, and you're going to charge a doc prep fee on eBay, which is $200 or $300 per unit. And so your cost is so low, and they're so consistent that you'll run them on an auction. And let's say you'll make $400 or $500 an auction. That's all you want to do. You know, you're not going to. eBay's not a place to retire financially. eBay is a place for a very certain type of asset. Some people in our group seek these assets out only. That's all they want to buy is $200 or $300 property and resell it on eBay. If you go on eBay and take a look around, you'll see us, first of all. But you will see very consistent sellers and consistent product types. So you can make that work. You know, we sold a lot of property on eBay over the years.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore, but...
Because for the right dollar amount. That was the thing. Back then, it was a lot of smaller dollar amount.
Nothing wrong with it.
Transactions, and that's perfect for that.
Exactly.
And you know you're going to load them. They're going to get, someone's going to buy them. That's the best part with eBay.
Exactly.
You don't have to sit and stare at it. You know at 30 days it's going to close, there will be a buyer. But these higher dollar amount ones, we don't do them on eBay because it's just a whole different community now.
Yeah.
So
today's topic, you know what, before I get into that at all, the whole thing here is to buy cheap property.
Right.
And you're about to do that.
Yep.
So just get that thing in the mail and I'm sure it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Today's topic, what is title insurance? This is the meat of the show. I'm going to describe the definition of title insurance, and Jill's going to make this interesting. Title insurance insures against, it's an insurance policy, against defects or clouds in the chain of title. So all properties, just for sake of argument, please don't send me emails with the exceptions of this statement that I'm about to say. All properties were subdivided or broken up by the federal government in the 17 and 1800s for one purpose. So they can so they're going to give the properties away or sell it for $5 an acre, literally, for one purpose. So they can tax you as the new owner and create a revenue stream forever.
Right.
So now you have all this subdivided property. There's movies all about this stuff. Actually, really interesting, I think. So now you have all this subdivided property all over the country, and now you have all this money coming in. So hey, let's start a country. Why not? Let's put some county officials in place so they can collect the taxes efficiently and all of that. From the day that title, that property is that's what homesteading is. From the day that property is homesteaded, all the way to today, literally today, there's a chain of title. Jeremiah bought it, sold it to his nephew. His nephew passed away, and deeded it to his son before he passed away, and on and on and on. That whole thing, right up to the conversation you're having with the person who's about to sell it to you, is a chain of title. And if it's very clean from those people and it's unbroken and there's no clouds on it, there's no defects, then theoretically you wouldn't need title insurance. But that's what title insurance insures against, because you can imagine how complicated it would be to follow the chain of title all the way back to the homestead.
And a cloud and a defect might be names don't line up. There might be one missing somewhere in there, or somebody passed on and they didn't just deed it correctly. That's kind of a cloud, and they have to go back and fix it, solve it, make sure it was done correctly. That's really the point of this too.
Right.
So they want to make sure.
That's why I hire an escrow agent.
Right.
Title
You
agent.
do that because you want to make sure that the person you're buying it from really is the owner and it was all transferred correctly. And that's too what we talk about this in Land Academy, the Cash Flow from Land program. We're so picky that I want to make sure when I'm transferring a title, if it's misspelled when it got to me, I'm not going to fix the spelling here. I'm gonna make it exactly how it was, so there's no cloud or no issue with the title.
So here's some helpful tips about title insurance and what you need to know about chain of title.
Right.
In general, for rural vacant land, the issues that occur in the chain of title are regarding dead people. And dead people can't complain. So if I buy property, if I buy a 100-acre property,
I don't know. My mom is going to find a way. I'm sorry. I disagree with that statement. She's alive. Thank goodness. She's healthy, alive, and happy, but I don't know.
Here's the worst case scenario. You buy a piece of property. You buy a piece of property. Sell a piece of property to Jill for $20,000,
Right.
and she knows something about that property that I don't. This happens to us.
Mm-hmm.
She knows that that it's a perfect place to put an airport. This is a true story. This happened to us, and so she wants to get the deal done, and she buys it from us. We deed it. She buys it from me. I deed it to her, and then she goes and sells it to a company like an airport company.
Mm-hmm.
And then so they hire a title insurance company. They go back through the chain
Mm-hmm.
because they're about to spend
Big bucks.
tens of millions of dollars, if not more, to put in a regional little airport.
Right.
And they needed to make sure there's no defects in the
Make sure
title.
it's
And so does the lender. It's not so much the people that are doing the
It's
airport. So it's the lender that really demands title insurance.
Exactly.
That is really what this is all about. Building or lending on the property, and you tend to want to have a really like a safety net. And that's what title insurance is supposed to provide.
Mm-hmm. And you're basically hiring an unrelated third party to go back and do all the homework and check it all. That's it. And if they find something, their job is to go fix it. Their job is to go, if there's a little hiccup and something was not deeded correctly, they will go to that person.
They'll call them
and say, hey, when you did this transaction in 1982 with this person, it was not done correctly. Thank goodness you're still alive. I'm going to send you a form. Can you please print it out, have it notarized and sent back to me, and it will take care of it. And that's what they're doing. And then they'll make it perfect for you.
And there's tons and tons of little examples, many of which Jill and I have experienced since the 90s. So I feel qualified to talk about this topic. Some of them are really important. Some of them are not. You know, do you really need to go back to 1872?
Right.
Because what can happen and does happen is that airport gets built and somebody from 1971 says, that's my property.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing building on my property? I paid the taxes. I didn't, this isn't right. Some procedural thing. You shouldn't have ended up with this property. And in fact, I'm going to sue you.
Right.
So that's what title insurance is supposed to smoke out before construction ever starts or transactions ever start or anything that's going to create equity.
Right.
And these things happen.
Mm-hmm.
I just read recently that the vast majority of these cases get settled. And it's all because, and Jill's going to love this, they just get settled. They get,
Right.
Here's $10,000.
Right.
Please stop it.
Exactly.
The vast majority, if you really look at these title policies and really read them, if you've listened to our show at all, we've talked about this a million times, they insure against very, very little, if that.
It's kind of funny. I know. That's a whole nother show.
But lenders love them. In fact, they require them.
Exactly.
And if you ask a typical lender why they need title insurance, they'll say, what are you talking about? Why do we need title insurance? Why would you ever buy a piece of property without title insurance? But we know better in this group.
Yes.
There's a lot of reasons why I should buy property without insurance, I think.
Right.
Hey, we know your time's valuable. Thanks for spending some of it with us today.
Hey, and join us tomorrow for an episode with member Andy Barnhart, and he shares his Land Academy success stories. And we answer your questions posted on our online community at landinvestors.com. It is free.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
Hey, you know what? House Academy is live, by the way. Just saying it, just plugging it, just
It's
letting you know.
live today?
Well, it's been live. I'm just kind of sharing it right now. So if you're listening to this show and you're here because you heard about House Academy, just so you know, the Land Academy members have it. But sit tight in days. It's coming. It's coming this month. So I'm just going to leave it at that. So if you want to get in early, by the way, go check out Land Academy and reach out to my team. And there's a way you can get at it early.
We've been in beta for a while on the site
Yeah.
and made it available to Land Academy members only.
Yeah.
And it has been
They're loving it.
wildly successful,
Yep.
to say the least. I'm not here to sell anything. I'm really not.
Right.
But when we produce these programs and people respond very well to them,
Yeah.
and they start to say things, boy, this is going to change my life again.
Exactly.
You know, that's why we do this.
I know. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, please subscribe and rate us there. We are Steve and Jill.
Information
An inspiration.
to buy undervalued property.